1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headlines. The National Assembly today started a debate on a resolution strongly condemning the publication of blasphemous caricatures of the Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khatamun Nabiyyin, in a French magazine. Foreign Minister is in Tehran to hold talks with the Iranian leadership on bilateral relations and regional situation. A delegation of Buddhist monks from Sri Lanka visited historical places in Lahore today as part of its week-long pilgrimage to various Buddhist heritage sites in Pakistan. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, All Parties Hurriyat Conference has strongly condemned the reign of terror unleashed by brutal Indian forces on Kashmiri people across the territory. Chinese president has urged the world to hold consultation on equal footing to create a future of shared benefits. Chad President Idriss Déby has died during clashes with rebels in north of the country. And now the news in detail. A resolution strongly condemning the publication of blasphemous caricatures of the Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Khatamun Nabiyyin, in French magazine Charlie Hebdo was tabled in the National Assembly today. Member National Assembly Amjad Ali Khan tabled the resolution which strongly condemned the blasphemous acts against the Prophet of Islam. The resolution said that the French magazine published blasphemous caricatures of the Prophet of Islam for the first time in 2015, and despite strong reaction and condemnation from the Muslims around the globe, a deliberate attempt has once again been made to harm religious harmony and peace at the international level. The resolution said encouragement of elements involved in hurting sentiments of millions of Muslims by the French president in the name of freedom of expression is regrettable. The resolution demanded of the House to have a detailed discussion on the expulsion of French ambassador from the country. All the European countries, especially France, should be apprised of the seriousness of the matter. All Muslim countries should be taken on board to collectively raise the issue of sanctity of the prophethood at international forums. It said deciding international matters is the sole prerogative of the state, and no individual group or party can exert pressure in this regard. The resolution also asked the provincial governments to allocate special places in all districts for protests so that daily life of people is not affected. Members of the National Assembly started debate on the resolution that will continue in its next session to be held on Friday at 11 in the morning. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi arrived in Tehran this afternoon on a 3-day official visit to Iran for talks with the Iranian leadership on bilateral relations and regional situation. He was warmly received by Iranian Foreign Minister's advisor and Director General at the Iranian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sayyid Rasool Musavi, and Pakistan's ambassador to Iran, Rahim Hayat Qureshi, and senior officers at the Pakistani embassy at Imam Khomeini International Airport, Tehran. During the visit, the Foreign Minister will meet Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and his Iranian counterpart Javad Zarif and other senior Iranian leadership. Bilateral cooperation, promotion of economic linkages, and other matters of mutual interest, including regional situation and international affairs, will be discussed in these meetings. The two foreign ministers will hold delegation-level talks on the entire spectrum of bilateral relations with focus on further deepening cooperation in diverse fields. The two sides will discuss the regional security situation, including the latest developments in the Afghan peace process and the Jammu and Kashmir dispute. They will also deliberate on strengthening regional cooperation under the umbrella of Economic Cooperation Organization. A delegation comprising senior Buddhist monks from Sri Lanka visited Badshai Mosque and Lahore Fort in Lahore today. Speaking on this occasion, Chief Abbot and President Dhamma Vijay Buddhist Vihara, USA Venerated Dr. Valpola Pariyanand, said that every religion has given a message of peace and harmony. He said that Pakistan has always helped Sri Lanka in the hour of need, including assistance for counter-terrorism measures. He hoped that the Pakistan government would take further further steps to promote religious tourism. The delegation is in Pakistan on a week-long religious pilgrimage to various Buddhist heritage sites, which has been arranged by the High Commission of Pakistan, Colombo, with a view to promote religious tourism in Pakistan. Ambassador of Saudi Arabia Nawaf bin Said Al Maliki has said that Pakistan and Saudi Arabia would take their bilateral relations to new heights. He expressed these views while talking to Chairman Parliamentary Committee on Kashmir, Shahryar Khan Afridi, who called on him in Islamabad today. Views were exchanged on matters of mutual interest during the meeting. Shahryar Khan Afridi lauded the role played by the Saudi Arabia in taking care of Pakistanis living in Saudi Arabia during the coronavirus. This is Radio Pakistan. In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All-Party Hurriyat Conference has strongly condemned the reign of terror unleashed by brutal Indian forces on Kashmiri men, women and children in nook and corner of the territory. The APHC spokesman in a statement in Srinagar today said that Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir is facing a martial law-like situation where fundamental rights of the Kashmiri people are trampled by the occupational forces during the nocturnal raids, even in the ongoing holy month of Ramadan. Other Hurriyat leaders and organizations in their statements also appealed to the international community and human rights organizations to put pressure on India to end its brutalities and settle the Kashmir dispute in accordance with the Kashmiris' aspirations. Meanwhile, power outages during Sehri Iftar and Tarawih hours sparked protest in several areas of Pulwama, Baramulla and Srinagar districts. The residents in various localities in Sapur, while protesting the callous attitude of the authorities, said the power cuts have become more frequent at Sehri and Iftar timings. Britain has imposed its strictest travel curbs on India after expulsion of coronavirus cases in the country. In a statement, Health Secretary Matt Hancock said India has been added to Britain's red list of countries banning all arrivals from India. Meanwhile, Indian government has enforced a week-long lockdown in capital Delhi from last night after a record spike in cases. The capital Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that Delhi's healthcare system is just near to collapse because of the worsening COVID-19 outbreak. Chinese President Xi Jinping has called on all countries in Asia and beyond for strengthening global governance and keep pursuing a community with a shared future for mankind. Delivering a keynote speech via video at the opening ceremony of BOA Forum for Asia Annual Conference 2021, he said that the world needs consultation on an equal footing to create a future of shared benefits. The Chinese president said all countries should follow the principle of extensive consultation, joint contribution and shared benefits, uphold true multilateralism and make the global governance system more fair and equitable. More than 250 non-governmental organizations have called on international governments to increase aid and save more than 34 million people on the brink of starvation this year. In an open letter addressed to world leaders, groups working to fight against inequality said up to 270 million people are acutely food insecure, with millions teetering on the very edge of famine. Chad President Idris Deby has died during clashes with rebels in north of the country. Army spokesman General Azim Baramonda Angonoa said in a statement read out on a state television that Deby has just breathed his last defending the sovereign nation on a battlefield over the weekend. His death came shortly after provincial election results, which projected his win for a sixth term in office with 80% of the vote. The first T20 of three-match series between Pakistan and Zimbabwe will be played in Harare tomorrow. The match will start at 2 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. And finally, the weather. Cloudy weather with light rain, a wind thunderstorm is expected in Punjab, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, North Balochistan and Upper Sindh during the next 12 hours. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan.